Today, we are diving into a story, a really big one. In fact, it might be the biggest story of all. It's a story about us. Our past, sure, but way more importantly, our future. You could call it the epic of humanity.
So let's just start with one single, massive question that frames this entire thing. What if everything we've ever done, every empire, every war, every piece of art, every discovery, what if all of that wasn't the main event? What if it was just our species' childhood? Messy, brilliant, and honestly, pretty dangerous.
To really wrap our heads around this story, we've got to go back, way back, before humanity even entered the picture. We have to start with the fundamental rules of existence itself, the grand design. Now, this story starts with what the source material calls the creator, and you should think of this less as a specific religious figure and more as a term for the ultimate architect of reality. You know, the one who performed the initial setup for, well, everything. And that brings us to this idea of the initial setup. The best way to think about it is like cosmic DNA. Every single thing in the universe, from a planet to a person, comes preloaded with a set of rules, a blueprint that defines what it is, how it can change, and what it has the potential to become. But here's the thing, this setup isn't some rigid prison. Built into that cosmic DNA is something called a range of variability. It's the wiggle room. It's the built-in potential for diversity and change within those rules. It's why no two journeys are ever exactly the same. And this, right here, is where we come in. The protagonists of this epic story, a creation that was given a truly incredible initial setup and a massive range of variability. Us, a thinking species. Yeah, our initial setup, it was special. The source actually calls humanity the creator's highest grade work. We weren't just given life. We were given this incredibly powerful and complex thinking function, a huge potential for change, and a magnificent direction to grow into. So, what is this human thinking function? It's basically our unique operating system, and it's hardwired with two primary drives. First, an instinct to seek our origins, to understand where we came from. And second, an unstoppable impulse to build, to learn, and to create things. This is the engine behind all human progress. And this thinking function isn't just one simple thing. It's more like a whole toolkit with different parts. According to the source, you've got a faith function to help us find meaning, a sense of mission to give us purpose, logic, of course, to build and understand, conscience to guide our actions, emotion to connect with each other. And yeah, even a selfish desire function, which fuels our drive to survive and achieve. All of these pieces are supposed to work together. So we have this amazing gift, this incredible potential. But this is where our story takes a really dramatic turn. We are, right now, arriving at a critical moment in our journey, a crisis point. This is a childhood's end. And the source material doesn't mince words here. It says we have reached the final and most dangerous stage of our collective youth. It's a time where we have immense power, but very little wisdom to go along with it. Right at this critical moment, a voice of warning emerges, a figure the source calls MFZ. And the message is just brutally honest. All our conflicts, our wars over beliefs and borders, it's like children fighting over toys in a sandbox. It's unworthy of who we're meant to be. And the stakes couldn't possibly be higher. Our childhood squabbles, they aren't harmless anymore. The toys we've built, the weapons, have become so powerful that we are literally on the verge of wiping ourselves out. So what are we fighting over exactly? According to MFC, everything. All of our current creations, our religions, our political parties, our nations, our entire body of knowledge, all of it belongs to the works of humanity's childhood. They're the products of our developing minds, but they are not the final product. So if our childhood is ending and we're standing right at the edge of a cliff, what happens next? Well, the story doesn't just end in disaster. It presents us with a way out. It presents us with the choice for adulthood. MFZ puts this choice in front of every single one of us. We can either remain a thought slave, basically a mind that hasn't been fully activated, just blindly fighting for those childhood ideas, or we can become a self-reliant individual by consciously waking up our full thinking function, and in doing so, achieve real self-respect and nobility. And it's not some vague philosophical idea.
There's a clear, actionable plan, a protocol for making this transition. Step 1, we all have to recognize that what we're fighting over are things from our childhood. Step 2, we have to end the blind, malicious infighting right now. Step 3, ceasefire. Just stop. And finally, step 4, we have to actually arrange a plan together to consciously transition into our adulthood. And this right here is a message of just incredible hope. Because look, what we've accomplished in our childhood is, well, it's remarkable. We've built entire civilizations, we've walked on the moon, but the source assures us that all of that is nothing. It's nothing compared to what we're going to achieve once we finally grow up. Our greatest work is still ahead of us. And that's it. That's the epic of humanity. We're the generation standing right on that threshold between the end of our beginning and the start of our true purpose. Our childhood is ending, so the only real question left for us is, what will our adulthood create?